everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. So, if you've been following the latest updates on Social Security, you know there's been quite a bit of chatter lately about some new adjustments. Well, today we are bringing you a comprehensive, structured breakdown of the official SSS Circular No. 2026-002. This is the actual document that outlines the new pension increases under the SSS Pension Reform Program. We're going to completely strip away the noise, go straight to the source material, and break down exactly what this means, who it affects, and most importantly, when you can expect to see these changes hit your bank account.
Let's just get right to the heart of the matter, shall we? For anyone out there relying on a fixed monthly income, the absolute most pressing everyday issue is simply keeping up with expenses. We literally all know the feeling. The cost of groceries goes up, utilities spike, everyday necessities creep higher and higher, and suddenly that fixed pension starts to feel, well, a little inadequate. So how exactly is the Social Security system stepping in to help pensioners combat this rising cost of living? What levers are they pulling to make sure that people who have paid into the system for years are actually protected in their retirement? That is the exact problem this new circular is attempting to solve, and the way they're going about it is actually pretty methodical.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the push for pension reform. Second, breaking down the increases. Third, important cutoffs and dates. Fourth, allowances and special cases. And finally, the big picture. Section 1, the push for pension reform, and exactly why this circular was issued in the first place.
You know, the government doesn't just change these numbers on a whim. There are very specific socioeconomic triggers outlined right in the text of the official guidelines. In the document we're analyzing today, Circular Number 2026-002, addressed to all SSS pensioners, the Purpose section explicitly anchors this whole reform to Section 4 of Republic Act No. 1199, which you might know better as the Social Security Act of 2018. That law establishes the foundational legal authority for these changes. So this isn't just a friendly memo, it's a major structural adjustment rooted in national law, specifically designed to enforce a much broader mandate of social protection for retirees and beneficiaries.
And this really brilliantly illustrates the dynamic nature of this specific reform. The document actually highlights two distinct resolutions that are driving the timeline. On one hand, we've got an early implementation for 2026, which is mandated by SSC Resolution No. 146-S 2026. Now, you might be wondering, why early? Well, it's because of the immediate economic challenges brought on by rising global oil prices. They saw an acute crisis happening and literally moved the timeline up to provide some immediate financial relief. But then, on the other hand, we have the scheduled implementation from a 2025 resolution. This scheduled path addresses the longer-term reality, ensuring that benefits actually keep pace with the rising cost of living, especially since people are living longer these days. The ultimate goal stated here is upholding the dignity and well-being of pensioners. It's just a really fascinating look at how policy responds to both immediate shocks, like global oil prices, and long-term demographic trends. Moving on to Section 2, breaking down the increases and who gets what percentage. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is the clear distinction they make based on the type of pensioner over this 3-year window from 2025 to 2027. For folks receiving retirement or disability pensions, there is a substantial 10% increase slated for 2025, another 10% in 2026, and a final 10% in 2027. Meanwhile, those receiving survivorship or death pensions will see a 5% increase across those exact same 3 years. This tiered approach directly from the circular ensures there is absolutely zero ambiguity here. The SSS is prioritizing a higher percentage bracket for direct retirement and disability claimants while still providing a really steady, compounding 5% uplift for survivorship beneficiaries. Section 3, important cutoffs and dates. Let's map out exactly when these increases take effect. All right, let's look at how this timeline builds because this staggered rollout is absolutely crucial to understand. For the 2025 increase, if your cutoff date is on or before August 31, 2025, your increase kicks in on September 1, 2025. Make sense? Now, let's look at 2026 because this is where that early implementation we talked about comes into play. If your cutoff is May 31, 2026, you get an early effectivity date of June 1, 2026. But if your cutoff falls between June 1 and August 31, 2026, your increase takes effect on September 1, 2026. And finally, for the 2027 increase, an August 31, 2027 cutoff means the adjustment kicks in on September 1, 2027. So as you can see, it's a highly structured, phased rollout designed to systematically get these funds out the door.
Section 4. Allowances and Special Cases. What exactly is being increased?
So, a super common question is, what exactly are these percentages being multiplied against? According to item number 3 in the official guidelines, the percentage increase applies to the monthly pension. But here is the critical and, frankly, awesome news. The document defines the monthly pension as the regular pension plus the 1,000 peso benefit allowance. So that entire base amount being multiplied by the 10% or 5% is the combined total. Plus, the document explicitly states that the dependent's pension will also be adjusted accordingly. This means the uplift has a really broad, comprehensive impact on the total financial package a household receives, not just one narrow slice of it. That is a huge deal.
But what if your paperwork is currently tied up in the system? The SSS actually has a protocol for that too. The circular outlines that the amount of the pension increase may be paid as a differential, and this specifically applies to 3 groups. First, anyone with in-process, pending, or re-adjudicated benefit claims. Second, folks who have received advanced pension releases. And third, those with suspended pensions awaiting resumption. If you happen to fall into any of these categories, this official protocol should definitely offer some peace of mind. The system hasn't forgotten about you. The increases you are owed will be calculated and paid out retroactively as differentials once your status is fully cleared. And finally, Section 5, the big picture. Finalizing the reform. Bringing it all home, let's look at the actual sign-off for the circular. Take a note of the repealing clause in Section 3. It says, Circular Note 2025-005, dated 28 July 2025, is hereby repealed upon issuance of this circular. Simply put, this means the new 2026 document we just went through is now the single source of truth. It completely overrides the old guidelines. Section 4 states that the effectivity clause is immediate following its publication in a newspaper of general circulation and registration with the National Administrative Register. And finally, to seal its authority, the document bears the official signature of Robert Joseph Montes de Claro, the president and CEO, dated the 20th of April, 2026. This is not just some proposal floating around. It is an active, finalized directive. Which brings us to a larger, concluding thought to chew on. We saw at the very beginning that one of the core drivers for this entire reform was the reality of longer life expectancies. We are all living longer, the world is changing faster than ever, and the cost of maintaining a dignified life just continues to rise. This 2026 circular is one targeted response to that, a structured 3-year financial adjustment. But it begs a really vital question for all of us. As life expectancy continues to grow globally, how will our social security systems need to further adapt to protect our future dignity? It's a massive, complex puzzle, and honestly, understanding the source documents exactly like we did today is absolutely the best way to stay informed and prepared for whatever comes next. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I will see you next time.